When I saw the scene in front of me, I was in shock. Because it was my son, I rushed over like a madwoman, praying desperately that he was okay, and lifted the cabinet with all my strength until I saw red liquid pooling beneath it. That's when I realized he was dead. When my husband came home, I told him everything that had happened. He was furious. He blamed me for not taking care of our son. He kept yelling at me and hitting me. I knew this was all my fault. I was consumed with guilt over my son's death. And so was he. The pain of losing our child was tormenting him too. One day I was going through my son's belongings. There was a knock on the door. I opened it. It was my husband coming home. I was shocked. He actually leaned in and kissed me. I thought he had forgiven me. He told me he wanted to try for another baby tonight. He also told me his brother would come visit our son tomorrow. I was stunned. Wasn't our son already dead? And his brother had passed away years ago. Then the knocking started again. As I walked toward the door, I heard my husband yelling from outside. I rushed back to the living room, and the husband from before had vanished. I was completely stunned by all of this. So I turned around to open the door. The moment my husband walked in, he started yelling at me. That's when I began to wonder if what I saw was just a hallucination. The next day, I went to see my best friend and told her everything that happened last night. But she suggested I see a therapist. I was angry that she didn't believe me, so I turned around and left. On my way home, I saw a cabinet on the side of the road. I stared at it in confusion, then it started to shake and fall down. Two creepy women appeared behind it, but they vanished in an instant. I was terrified by what I saw. I ran home as fast as I could, but that night, something even stranger happened. I had a nightmare. A group of women were gathered around a pregnant woman doing something bizarre, but when I woke up, I realized it wasn't a dream. I screamed for my husband, but when I looked around, the women had vanished again. My husband thought I was just trying to scare him, so he turned around and left. The next day, my coworker came to my husband and asked him to help watch her kid, but I had no idea this would cost me my husband forever. Looking at the child in front of him, he could no longer bear the pain of losing his son. So after work, he went to the cemetery and chose to stay there with his son forever. Since I couldn't reach my husband by phone, I went to his workplace to ask around. When I found out he hadn't shown up for 2 days, my heart filled with dread, so I headed back home. But the moment I walked in, I heard a child crying inside the house. When I walked in, I was stunned by what I saw, a group of women standing together, and my mother-in-law sitting on a gravestone holding a doll in her hands.